It feels like the life I lead. It feels like the life I lead's a little distant. Feels like the life I need. Feels like the life I need's a little distant. I was listening to that song some years ago. I don't remember when it was. It was some point in the winter, and I walked to Whole Foods in the dark. I used to walk there, walk around the store, and walk home, and at the time I was at a specific place in my life where things felt very static. Felt like my life was distant. I was trying to do a lot of self-improvement, walking, exercising. I was trying to refrain from video games, all the kind of fatherly advice. But there was nobody there. I was still alone, and that was still damaging from where I was, because when I was a kid and I never realized it, I always had friends and I always had people around, and I never expected that to end, or I never really thought about it. But once it was gone, things change. Things change in big ways when you don't have something anymore. And it felt like my life was distant. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I felt like I was subjected with such a heavy load, heavy things to deal with and comprehend. You know, in general, I typically have these thoughts, but it was specifically today. You hear my coworker, who's the same coworker that asked me, "Oh, are you moving out anytime soon? Are you looking into your own place?" And they don't mean anything by it. They're just being friendly, but it shows a disconnect. It shows that some people just have absolutely no idea what's going on in the world. Watching TV shows, watching movies, with zero comprehension of what's going on. How many people are hurting? How much pain and suffering is out there? And I've always been afflicted with this awareness of suffering, this care to try to solve it, and I gave up. There was a time I thought I really wanted to be there for someone. I really wanted to help someone, and that would make me feel so good. And nobody was even remotely interested in the things that I had to say. Got made fun of. Ridiculed. And the same people claim depression. I was going to say depression. They claimed they had depression and then did not want to do anything about it. Whereas I did, and that always puzzled me. It always puzzled me. Why was I given this desire and intention to want to be happy? And why did nobody else I talked to have that same goal or that same ambition? Why did nobody else care? Do people really think about themselves that much? Do people not think about other people ever? I'm always stunned as the days go by. I'm always stunned by how much I feel like people don't care. It always just shocks me. And some people are just ignorant, and then that's a whole other thing that is confusing to me, and why I've been given and dealt what I've been dealt. And I wonder sometimes what I'm really supposed to do. I mean, does God want me to enjoy my life here? Was I put here to be aware? Was I put here to have fun? Am I outside of whatever I'm supposed to be doing? But my thoughts and my care and compassion has always been there. And it's scary to know that people just aren't oriented that way at all. And everybody just wants to be catered to and doesn't even see or understand half the things that I see or understand. It's very isolating. But there's no surprise. It's not surprising that things are the way they are. Am I really the only person like this? Does nobody else care at all? Is everybody just that out of it or deluded in their own emotional goings on? I just don't know. It seems very strange to me that people just have that. It's a lack of awareness, but it's a depth. There's a depth to it. There's a severity to the lack of awareness. It's not a casual lack of awareness. It's a fundamental avoidance. But the problem is I don't think people are conscious. So it must be ignorance. And then with me, what I could have been if I just had more energy in me. I mean, I don't know if it was a combination of poor diet or poor household or genetic or what it was, but just hard for me to get out of my head, and that is very dangerous nowadays. It's very dangerous, and you're really pressured to be action-oriented and just to keep going and going and going. And like I said, I grew up in Obama's America, and back then we were told a lot of things in school about hope and the future was going to be better and optimism. And I naively just thought that was going to be the case. I thought other people would think like me. I mean, I didn't think like this way back then, but I guess I just underestimated how deeply deluded people would get. I guess I underestimated it. And do I still underestimate it even after all I've been hurt, all I've been put through? And everybody tells me the same thing. Oh, you just didn't meet good people. You just haven't met the right people. You've just met a lot of bad people. Really? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, how many bad people are there? Is it really that? Is that really the problem? just feels crazy to me. And that's furthermore why I think it's a hand dealt by God, where I was put here to study things deeply and to look into things deeply and to understand, and I'm hoping now to influence. I'm hoping that this channel becomes some way I can touch people, and I just wonder if it even matters. If I don't know how I could penetrate into culture and even make a difference. This is mainly just about me trying to get by and having a nice hobby that hopefully I can just be who I was meant to be. And I'd be happy at my job if that's where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. I wouldn't have any qualms about it. But something tells me that I could do more, and I think this is it. I've wondered about that, and I guess coming from someone who was deeply lazy and never tried very much in school, never could for one reason or another, depression or anxiety or whatever, never could. In retrospect, I wish I did try more in school, but for some reason at the time, it just didn't materialize or something. And then I realized one time when I went to the dentist, I was thinking about it and maybe what I could have been, somebody who is capable of something higher and makes a decent amount of money. And it's not about the money, it's about the contribution. I'm always thinking about how I could contribute most to society. I want to do something that matters, where I can really touch lives. And I realized I just flunked it. Of course, I'm still young. Of course, there's still time. But my realization still hit pretty hard. And I always cared about that, but the job market seemed so messy. It seemed so intimidating. It seemed like there wasn't really work that was purpose-filled or that really even mattered. I don't know. It's strange. Was I just overthinking everything? Probably. Because once I finally got a job, I've held up. I think I hold up better than anybody, really. Working is not remotely the biggest problem in my life. The biggest problem in my life was and probably will always be people, and just a total misunderstanding and mismatch of priorities and awareness, and it's a isolating path that I'm on. And I've finally come to terms with that's really it. I have to study these really deep beliefs, and I'm never really going to be credited, at least not for a while. I have a feeling things could get better when I'm older, and I think it's really important to have hope regardless of what will happen, and I've altered that, obviously. because I used to have no hope, and now I do have hope. I really do have hope, and it's weaned and waned. Some days I'm not confident, but it's been recorded. There are periods of time I'm very confident. Now there's days like today where I'm feeling a lot more somber about things, mainly to do with, again, other people, emotional kind of dealings that I'm always subject to, and I always have to be the bigger person, and of course anybody else can never really be there for me. That just never have the time. I think God is purposeful with who he isolates and why. And I just wonder who I'm being built to become a sinister person. A deeply stone-cold person, a stone-cold individual, without much warmth, without much joy. I'm being molded in that image. I can feel it. I felt it for a long time. A stone-cold, sinister person. Like I said, it's time for a second job. 60 hours a week isn't enough, apparently. Because I'm not paid for 60 hours a week, but I show up for, I've already talked about, I don't think it makes any sense that we don't get paid for lunch. I mean, give me a break. 40-hour work week. 37 and a half. So yeah, it's 57 and a half. I don't actually get 60 hours. But it's 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week. And I'm doing it because that's the only way I feel comfortable, but I don't know how long it's going to last, and that's going to be a whole other disappointment, because at least I've had that outlet. At least I feel like I'm doing well. At least. But is it really time to just give up on people entirely? I almost think that's what God wants me to do, and what he wants me to learn. So I need to just look inwards and merge with myself, not with another being. And it's a very specific role. It's a very specific role that I don't think most people are dealt this hand. And I don't want to sound crazy, because I know a lot of people say this kind of stuff, but there's a particular case with me. Like I said, a lot of spiritual people are not very scientific. And I am really rooted in that. I don't want to be crazy. I definitely want to be who I'm supposed to be. There's not really anything else to say about it. And when I'm saying the things I'm saying, I'm only saying them because I think there's abundant evidence for it. I think it makes sense. But I'm not the type if I don't know something's there, I'm not going to do it or subscribe to it. I'm very cautious. So we'll have to just see how things play out. I've also never had any directly spiritual experiences, which I'm not sure if that's a gift or not, but I honestly take it as a gift. I've never had any hallucinations or lucid dreaming or anything like that, and in a way it's helpful because, again, it gives me a cool, calm, and collected way of interpreting and looking at things. Talking is so therapeutic for me. I use it as a drug. It's like a drug, talking. Even to myself, even to this video, it's like a drug. If I'm stressed and I talk to myself soothing, it calms me. When I'm upset and I act joyful and talk to myself, it heals me. I don't know if that's a skill that everybody has. Everybody probably has their own secret skill, they just don't know where to find it. I mean, we each have things that are special about us, but you have to look inwards. I didn't discover car rides with schlaw being a therapy until well over a year into working. And I could have been doing it the whole time, and I think I would have been further developed and further along, but did used to be a pretty anxious mess driving. And eventually you just can't do anything about it, and nobody was there for me, so just had to get used to it. And everything happened to work out. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But it's a drug. And I think I have to take advantage of that more. And furthermore, my mind, which is much harder to control. The mind is a beast. But I need to know myself better. Because there's a lot to unravel. And a lot of these people I put so much into, there's really nothing there. I'm like a lake. And some people are just like a spoon. They're not even a bucket. I think most people are essentially a spoon. And I'm like a lake of water trying to go into the spoon and pour into the spoon, and that just don't work. I don't know if you guys can picture what I'm saying, or you guys ever tried to put water into a spoon before, but it's not a very good experience. I know from experience it's not the most effective format for water formulation. And that's a good way of putting it. Now, some people are buckets, and I've poured more into, but it still doesn't work. Been various people. But I've wasted a lot of time. I think God just wants me to be as good as possible, so everybody's been completely unreasonable towards me. Just totally ridiculous, unreasonable, rude, ignorant, because I'm somehow supposed to, I don't know, figure it out or something. It's really weird. I can't imagine what his plan... Well, I kind of have figured what his plan is, but I guess I haven't been thinking about it too much. My mind has been relatively foggy. I've been dealing with a lot. Work has gotten a lot busier, it's good, because that's always what I wanted, but I mean, there was a period of time my job was truly great, and I really had time to breathe and it was chill, and it hasn't been chill. It's been a lot, and I'm really grateful because I'm trying to use that as an opportunity for more hours, and it's been working, and I hope it doesn't end, but it's definitely been a lot. And I think that is weighing on me because I keep pushing it slightly. Like now, I still am pushing it more and more, you know. I'm now actually, as of this week, arriving an entire 20 to 30 minutes earlier than I was a while back. I'm waking up a little bit earlier. I mean, I'm really pushing it. And I think I don't even sit back and get a chance to truly consider and fathom how extreme my schedule is and how much I'm pushing it. Because again, there's no recognition from anybody. Nobody cares about what I'm doing, and nobody notices. And that's the same thing with this show. I'm doing, because that's not even getting into like, do you guys think I wanted to record today? I wanted more than anything to say no. And I didn't want it to be somber. I wanted to force and put a mask on, but I just can't help it. I mean, I have been put through the ringer, and it's a strange ringer, and it's a combination of needing to deal with particularly infuriating people in a very particular way, a lack of care, a lack of logic, and then in addition, me needing clarity and needing logic from people. Needing care from other people for what I'm there for them, they should really be there for me. But nobody ever is. I mean, it's almost a joke at this point. Even the people I think will be, just everything's gone off a cliff. And so this show is my only support line. I talk to you guys more than I talk to anybody. That's 6 hours a week of recorded content. I don't even talk to anybody for 6 hours a week. I can't. Nobody's available. People just don't make themselves available anymore. I can't believe this is just me experiencing this. I'm sure other people are too. It's why I think I'm finally resorting to this medium. Because for a while I was always like, no, I don't like YouTube. I don't really think it's good. I really want to push to talk to real people, have real conversations. I want to be able to help people. And that's always how I thought. And I just don't know. I mean, now we're here, and it's like, I felt like it wasn't really my own choice, just what I had to do. It's a shame, right? You don't want things to be this way, but this is just how they have to be. This is what we're dealing with, right? I mean, what am I supposed to do? And that breaking point has brought me to this, which is why I think what I'm going through is hopefully a remodel, and I'm going to rise further than I've been before. But it all remains to be seen. Like I said, it's difficult for me to hope. I was hopeful for a while, but now I think I'm just trying to take things day by day, because I can't get disappointed. And that's always what happens. I always get disappointed. Am I a baby for that? Maybe in some ways, but in other ways, I think my expectations are not babyish. The things I get upset about are fairly serious. They're not things that other people should allow to happen. But like I said, I think it's evident there is a pretty severe care differential. And I can't help it. I can't change myself. I just want to give, and it always gets me in trouble, and I don't want to have to punish people, even the people who deserved it. I guess that makes me weak. I just don't know what to do anymore. Because I think about the big picture so much. A lot of this drama, it's so small. But to other people, that's all they think about. And that is a huge issue. It's an enormous problem. Because I can't even be... My patience... Well, my patience is more than a regular person, for sure. I deal with drama very well. But I'm saying in the perspective of myself, which is a super high patience threshold, I don't feel like I have the patience for it because there's bigger issues. There's issues that are affecting everybody right now. It's not just me. There's humanity level issues, and what my little drama with a person is a speck. It's a speck in the grand scheme of things. But to that person, I'm sure that their whole world is this little crumb. And that's what they think the whole loaf is. But I see the whole loaf, and I see what's just a crumb. And my patience is still immense for the amount of time people have wasted, amount of my time that has been wasted. And I guess partially it's my own fault. Right? Because I don't have to give. It's just I like to give. So then I guess it's all me, you know? How can I fault another person? Really? Is it really another person's fault? But it's just what I want. But is what I want what I'm meant for? And that's the obvious conundrum. Are desires really what it's about? And I don't think I understood that. And I think I was still living within that framework. And it showed. Lots of suffering, minimal. But at the time, I was broken, man. I couldn't see beyond that. I wanted to heal. I wanted to help. And that was really the only way I saw it working. Was I didn't want to spend my time playing video games. I didn't want to spend my time watching YouTube. I wanted to talk to real people. But nobody felt the same way. Nobody felt the same way. Some people who were more extroverted were addicted to TikTok, and then you couldn't even talk to them because they were always talking and on TikTok, and that's not good. That's really difficult to deal with. I don't even know. So what did I gain from this conversation? I'm not sure. I felt fairly good at first, but I still think the weight of what I'm dealing with is just, it's too much because I can't not care. I end up caring, and I don't want to punish even when it's seriously, and let me reiterate, seriously deserved. I still won't do anything. Because at the end of the day, I'm chill. I don't like fighting. I only fight when it feels like it's necessary. When I'm doing it in the sake of justice, in the sake of fairness. For the sake, sorry, feel like I did that a couple of times this episode, just said things wrong. That is not good for my intention of becoming the ultimate speaker, is it? Nope. But we're getting there. I well, at least I want to hope that I'm getting there, you know. But hey, good news is we made it through the episode. We didn't not record today. And I don't know if this is good or bad. I don't know, but hopefully there's some charm to it or some redeeming value or something. But I have no idea. Well, it's been schlaw, but now it's time to buy schlaw. So, see ya, schlaw.